Hello and welcome to today's session where we're going to continue our analysis of the essay In Praise of Ignorance by Hilaire Belloc. After discussing about the vast oceanic arena of ignorance as compared to the little field of knowledge, let's see what Belloc writes in the next paragraph. I am reading it. As is my most unfortunate foible in the discussion of any matter truly profound, I have allowed preliminaries to take up nearly all my space. So, beginning with a gentle self criticism, he is saying that it is my marked foible, it is my marked weakness, unfortunate weakness, that during my discussion of profound matters, of deep matters, it happens with me that I usually consume much of the space, all my space in preparatory or introductory part. As he's saying that I have allowed preliminaries, that as in the case of this essay, I have taken much of the space in introducing only, or in the introductory section. As yet I have not come to the point, and the point is, and I have not as yet approached that chief spiritual attribute of ignorance, that I have not yet approached, I have not yet articulate that chief characteristic of ignorance, which is its power to flood the mind with happiness. That it has the power, ignorance has the power to fill our mind with happiness, because in most of the cases ignorance is bliss and adds joy to our life. Ignorance is a very draught of beatitude. So by stating this powerful statement, he is saying that ignorance is a flow of beatitude. Beatitude is an ultimate bliss or a supreme happiness. So he is saying that ignorance is a very draught of beatitude, and in order to prove this argument or prove this statement, he is giving an example to illustrate it. All the mystery and marvel of a white champagne seen from a height at evening depends on our ignorance of the nasty people by which it is inhabited. So here he is giving an example that when we see a beautiful landscape of an open countryside, wide champagne is an country, open countryside. So when we see a beautiful landscape of wide open countryside from a place of height at sunset, and it looks greatly beautiful to us in the dim light, it appears mysterious and charming to us, it charms us with its enchanting beauty, and this happiness this beautiful scenery, we find it very beautiful and charming and enchanting. This enchantment, this happiness depends on our ignorance, and this remains until or we don't know about the nasty people. This happiness, or when we find this place utterly or immensely beautiful, it depends on our ignorance, because we are ignorant about the people, we are ignorant of the people who are wicked, nasty people who are wicked, selfish and mean, by which it is inhabited. Because that countryside, we don't know about the people who live in that countryside. That's why that countryside looks us absolutely fine and perfect in its beauty. But when we know about those nasty people, we don't find it that beautiful. Their torturous and sordid ways, we don't know, we are ignorant about their injuring and ignoble ways. We can say they are busy in fighting with each other, or doing harm to one another. So in this way, our happiness or our beautiful experience of looking at the scenery depends very much on our ignorance of the people living there. So it sustains up to the time we don't know about the people, and same is with the world. Ignorant people, to the ignorant people, this world seems very beautiful because they don't know the evils of the world. And when people come to know about the reality of the things, it makes them unhappy. World doesn't seem them as beautiful as it used to be when they were ignorant. So ignorance is an attribute which makes us very much happy, which keeps us in happiness, in a bliss, in ultimate or supreme bliss. All our loves, all our hero worships, all our dreams of coming peace, all our visions of fortune are the fruits of ignorance. Now he is counting all the fruits of ignorance by stating that even our love depends upon ignorance. We love the people, we love the one, anyone, we love the anyone because we don't know about their views, feelings, or what's going on in their mind. And it is this ignorance only makes us that we love them, or we love them because we are ignorant about their uh, real views, feelings about us. All our hero worships in the similar way. Hero worships, people have deep respect for their leaders and heroes because they don't know about their personal lives. They don't know that how often they become mean and selfish in their dealings, because people see and judge their heroes and leaders by their appearance and speech, but they don't know about their personal lives, and this ignorance makes them worship their heroes and leaders. All our dreams of coming peace, all our visions of fortune. Now next in the line of the fruits of ignorance are dreams of peace, visions of fortune. So here Belloc is saying that we dream of a peaceful and happy future. We plan and make arrangements for a good fortune because we are very much ignorant about what is going to happen in the next moment. It may contain any sad news. Then in that condition we might not be able to make all the arrangements and plans for our good fortune. So that's why this is the ignorance which makes us happy in our future plannings, in our good visions of the future, in our hope of coming peace, a peaceful and good future. So these are the fruits of ignorance. Next paragraph. A man leaves a congenial company. So in order to illustrate his praise of ignorance, or that how ignorance makes us happy or keeps us happy, he is giving the next example of a man who leaves the congenial company with whom he has held full communion. So there is a man who leaves the congenial company, very friendly company, with whom he has held very good communion, with whom he had a good share of thoughts and feelings. He goes off to take his train and he departs. This man who departs to take his train and thinks to have left behind him souls still vibrating in harmony with his own. So, and he departs his friends, his congenial company, with the thought that he is leaving the souls with whom he is in complete harmony. They recollect him with a peaceful love, and after his departure, if they recall him, or if they remember him, then it will be a feeling of peaceful love. If they return to his name, it is with murmurs of approbation. And if on any dialogue, if they recall during any dialogue, if they recall his name, then it will surely be murmurs of approbation, means it will be surely be in approval of his personality. The man is thinking, or with this thought, the man leaves his congenial company. He rolls home satisfied, and with a satisfactory mood and temperament, he leaves his friends. But the root of his happiness lies deep in ignorance. But he is happy because he is ignorant of the real views of his friends about him. For hardly had he shut the door, because what happened actually, what is actual, or what about which he is ignorant, what is the reality about which he is ignorant, and that ignorance is keeping him in happy and good state. But the reality is, for hardly had he shut the door, that hardly had he shut the door behind him, when one of them said, one of those congenial company, one of the friends said, does he still drink? About that man who has left the company, that does he still drink? And another said, yes, but he has got to that stage when he doesn't show it. And a third, that's the most dangerous time. So what the man is thinking in his ignorant state, what the man was thinking, that his friends, he's recalling them with that he is thinking that his friends would recall him with love and affection, or they have great love and respect for him, but actually they are thinking, or they are talking, his friends are talking about his drinking habit. So it is the reality that due to our ignorance we think that our friends love and respect us, but actually they are tolerating us, and it might happen that they have grudges against us, or it might also possible that in heart of their hearts uh, they are uh, ridiculing us, as in the case of this man, as they might ridicule us. So it is the ignorance of the reality of world, of the real nature or real views of the people about us, which keeps us happy in a good state. Last paragraph. Nay, to conclude upon a note of grandeur, it is by ignorance alone that we advance through the rough seas of this our mortal life. So, nay, should I say? So, here Balak is saying that, should I conclude or sum up this essay, this praise of ignorance on a splendid note? And that note is that it is by ignorance alone that we carry through, we advance the or we are able to face the great difficulties and situations of our life bravely through the rough seas of our mortal life. And what he is stating in parenthesis, the metaphor is not original. I do not claim it so. I copy it from others. So, in order to create humor here, Balak is saying that this metaphor, where he is comparing rough seas of our mortal life to the, where he is comparing or telling the great challenges and difficulties of life to rough seas of our mortal life. So this is a metaphor, and he is saying that I am not claiming that this is my own metaphor. I have borrowed it, or I have copied it from somewhere. So this was a touch of humor. Next line. Were not man ignorant of what lay before them, no one would face the adventure. And it is ignorance which makes us doing adventurous deeds, because if we know the results of our adventure, then nobody, or we would not be ready to face the danger. So it makes us adventurous, because we don't know what is going to happen, what is in the womb of the future. I knew one man indeed who was quite offensively stupid. So now he is giving one interesting example while summing up this essay of a stupid man. I knew one man indeed who was quite offensively stupid, and sat up that he looked, oh, I missed the line, dressed in a sort of, who was quite offensively stupid, dressed in a sort of purple grey, and had himself so groomed and sat up that he looked like the successful businessman of the advertisements, which indeed he was. So here Balak is mentioning one man who is a stupid man, and who is always charmingly dressed and groomed, and he usually, or he looks like a successful businessman of the advertisements. And what happens to him? This man told me, so Balak is saying that this man told me during a public luncheon that he had found life increasingly pleasant, and that in every fresh stage of it he discovered a further satisfaction. So during a public luncheon, this man happened to tell Balak in a very boastful manner that he is quite satisfied with his life, and he finds life very pleasant. So in this way he was boastfully articulating his satisfaction and happiness of life. Now Balak is saying, now I'm glad to say that within 24 hours he was shot out of his motor car. So now Balak is saying that the very next day, what happened? He met this man, the stupid man, met with an accident where he was thrown out of his motor car and broke upon the sacred flints of England, that prominent jaw, and he and his front jaw, prominent jaw, his front jaw was broken, which defaced him, which he had so abominably abused. And with this jaw, which he used to be detestably, which he this Joe, which in a very in a with a humorously here he humorously Balak is saying that detestably this man used to misuse this Joe, and now he is glad to say that his Joe is now broken after this accident because he was thrown out of motor car. So it was the ignorance of this stupid man which kept him busy. That's why the very previous day he was very happy and satisfied with life, and the next day it happened. So it was this ignorance which kept him busy, and his jaw was broken. Never more would he boast, or at least not without a horrid mumbling. So never more would he boast. So now this man could not boast of his satisfaction or happiness of life, or at least he would not do so, because now he can horribly mumble, because his jaw is broken now. So with this horribly mumbling he can not boast of his happiness now. So this was his ignorance which kept him busy the very previous day of his accident. So the last three lines: in consideration of all this, I thank God for my own ignorance, and though it is unfortunately less than that of most people, I flatter myself it will serve. So Balak is concluding this essay with a thank you note to God for his ignorance, as keeping in view all the advantages of ignorance. Balak is expressing his gratitude to God for his ignorance in these last lines, but also commenting that unfortunately he is less ignorant than other people, but he also seems to flatter himself that okay, this less ignorant state will serve him in serve his purposes. So on the whole, he is happy with his ignorant state, or with his ignorance, and is expressing his gratitude to God for this. So this was the essay in praise of ignorance by Hilaire Belloc. That's all for today. Thank you for now.